e4.
Gukesh is finally ready to face the French defense again.
e6. d4. d5. Knight c3. Knight f6. e5. Knight f d7. Knight c e2.
The challenger plays the same plan he tried in the first game of the match, albeit with a different move order there. He played f for first.
c5. c3. Knight c6. a3.
A rare move. f4 transposes to the position discussed in the first game of the match.
Bishop e7. Bishop e3.
An opening novelty that was played instantly. The idea is to hold the pawn on d4 firmly, as it's the important stronghold in white's position. Development can be completed by moving the knight to f4, also preparing an attack on the king side. White has a space advantage, a characteristic of this pawn structure, so if he manages to finish development, the attack can be very dangerous.
Knight b6.
Ding Liren thought for a long time on this move, an idea that changes the character of the game, as the knight will go to c4 and will be captured.
Knight f4.
White doesn't need to worry about the knight move to c4.
c takes d4. c takes d4. Knight c4.
The natural continuation of black's plan.
Bishop takes c4. d takes c4. Knight g e2.
Queen g4 is more incisive.
b5. Castle kingside. Castle kingside. Knight c3. Rook b8. Knight h5.
White wants knight h5, queen g4, and this is the right move order.
f5. e takes f6 en passant. Bishop takes f6. Queen f3.
A very tempting move, planning to go with the queen to g3, but the capture on d4 is tactically possible.
Queen e8.
With knight take d4, black fully solves all the problems with this capture, but the variations aren't easy.
Knight takes f6 check. Rook takes f6. Queen e2.
White is fighting for the advantage again.
Queen g6. f3.
An excellent move, removing the power of a potential bishop on the h1-8 diagonal, preparing bishop f to g3 and securing the e4 square for the knight.
Rook f8.
a6 is a good move, protecting the pawn chain.
Rook a d1. Knight e7.
b4 is possible, but it's a scary move to play, as it weakens the pawn structure.
Bishop f4.
I like this tactical move a lot. The bishop takes a shortcut to a better diagonal.
Rook b6.
If rook take f4, loses to queen e5, attacking both rooks.
Bishop c7. Rook b7.
Rook c6 is somewhat better.
Bishop d6. Rook e8. Bishop takes e7.
An interesting and difficult positional decision. It was hard to evaluate its merits during the game.
Rook e takes e7. Queen e5.
Knight e4 is also tempting, bringing the knight to c5.
a6. d5.
Both players were, as usual, in time trouble. Dramatic mistakes are expected in this situation, especially since black has to play carefully to defend and white needs to be accurate to exploit a possible mistake.
E takes d5. Queen takes d5 check. Queen e6. Queen c5. Rook e8.
the only defense.
Rook D E1. Queen F7.
This is a dramatic moment in the match.
Knight E4.
Missing a forced win, rook take e8 check is better. Should exchange a pair of rooks in positionally advantageous positions.
Rook F8.
The only move.
Knight D6. Rook C7.
Ding finds the only moves in time trouble.
Queen E5. Queen F6. Queen D5 check. King H8.
The worst is over for black.
Rook E5. Rook E7. Rook F E1. Rook takes E5. Rook takes E5.
Queen take e5 is more precise.
H6.
The important black queen remains on the board.
Queen C5. Bishop D7. Knight E4. Queen F4. Rook E7. Bishop F5.
Played with less than a minute on the clock.
Queen D4. Rook G8. H3. Queen C1 check. King F2.
I expected King H2 and Queen F4 check with a draw, but Gukesh fights for the win until the end.
Bishop takes E4. Rook takes E4. C3.
A good practical choice to simplify.
B takes C3. Queen takes A3. King G3.
White has a very small, but not very dangerous initiative. The most he can achieve is a 3+2 endgame on the king side, which is exactly what happens in the game.
Queen B3. Rook E7. A5. Rook B7. Queen C4.
Ding plays safely. He wants to prevent any tactical chances with White's rook moving to the 6th rank.
Queen E5. Queen C6.
Another careful move. A 4 and B4 should also hold the game easily.
Queen takes B5. Queen takes C3. Rook A7. Queen E1 check. King H2. Queen B4. Queen takes B4. A takes B4. Rook B7. Rook A8. Rook takes B4.
The rook endgame with 3+2 is a very easy draw. The rest requires no commentary. Everybody knew a peaceful handshake was coming.
Rook A2. King G3. King H7. Rook B5. King G6. F4. King F6. King F3. Rook C2. G3. Rook C3 check. King G4. Rook A3. H4. Rook C3. Rook B6 check. King F7. F5. H5 check. King F4. Rook C4 check. King F3. Rook C3 check. King F4. Rook C4 check. King F3. Rook C3 check.
Draw for third repetitions. Another excellent fighting game in the match.